So it is the year of 2020, and with a year with that kind of number combination, you know it's going to be a good year. 2020 is a year that I really want to get myself on the right track. I feel like every year that I get older, I realize things that I need to be focusing on more. Some things, for example, that I hadn't thought about last year that I've been thinking about this year to work on are like my financial literacy. Basically, this video is just me going through all the ways that I'm getting ready for 2020, all the ways that I plan on watching myself, tracking myself, and implementing my goals so that they actually go the way that I want to, because that can be hard sometimes. I find that every year that I try to do like goals for the year, I'll like start the year off strong, kind of like doing my goals, and I usually don't really plan them very specifically. And so they kind of just fall out, and then like later on in the year I'm like, oh wow, I didn't do any of those goals I wanted to. But it's always because I never plan them. Like I never write down a plan, I never check it off every day or anything. And that's one thing I really wanted to do different this year, was to like actually have a planner, some type of goal tracker that's really specific so that I can look at it and like know exactly where I'm at, instead of like just having like a vague idea. I changed the way that I plan normally for my year this year, and I'm really hoping that this difference will help me stick with it better. It is January 10th as I'm filming this video, and so far this stuff, I've been doing it for 10 days. Actually, I've been doing it for like a week. It's been going really well, so I hope you guys like this video. I've talked a lot already in this video, so let's just get on to the video. One thing I really wanted to get into this year was bullet journaling. That's something that I've always heard of, but it never really interested me until I watched Best Jess video. Some of the things that I'm doing in this video I definitely got from her video, so you should go check it out. Link will be down below. But she was showing her bullet journal, and that kind of inspired me, and I was like, wow, it's really cute. I'm really into decorating like that. That's all me decorating. That's all my drawings, and like I would have fun with that. So I decided I wanted to do bullet journaling. Right now I don't have like a real bullet journal. I have like a small one that I got from MailChimp at this conference, Grace Hopper conference. So shouts out to Grace Hopper and shouts out to MailChimp for this bullet journal, but it's quite small, but it'll do for the beginning of the year until my new one comes in. So I wanted to track some stuff like my mood. I saw that Ashley did this in her video. I thought it was quite interesting because I've been using this app called Mood Path, which I suggest. It's a pretty good app to just see how your mood changes throughout the day. Ask you to put it in like morning, afternoon, and evening, and I've been doing that like since probably the beginning of December. So when I saw this one that she did on her paper, like did it actually like writing it down every day, I thought this was a cool idea, and I liked the aspect of it looking like a graph so I could kind of visually see it. Another thing I wanted to do was a habits tracker. I'm doing one for the month of January where I track a bunch of habits. Some of the ones that I have on here are being awake by 7:30 a.m., drinking 70 ounces of water, you know, half my body weight in water, working out about 30 minutes a day on the days that I don't cycle for 30 minutes. I'm tracking days that I don't spend, days that I make videos a day, my yoga, reading, coding. This January tracker that I'm doing is kind of like a color-coded tracker, which I like, so I can kind of visually see it all. I realize that I can be type A at times, and I do like to see things visually. I think that makes me want to keep up with them more, and it makes me like excited when I see progress. So that's one thing I think I'm going to keep up with, because I don't know, I've never tried that before, and so far it's going really well for me. So maybe that's something that you should try if you have a problem with tracking things normally or keeping up with your goals. Try getting to really type A about it and just making a tracker for it, a graph for it, and keeping up with it every day. Put your tracker by your desk like I did so that you won't forget it. So far I've kept up with it every single day except for one day because I was not here. I was at my friend's house, but that's pretty good for me. Like that's really good for me. That shows me that this is definitely working out. So bullet journaling, very important. Another thing that I really want to keep track of for 2020 is my financials. I come from a house where we don't really have like an excessive amount of money. I think that like it's known that if you grow up in that kind of place where you don't really know too much financial literacy, or your family doesn't know too much about financial literacy, you kind of grow up and you end up being like that too. I was watching this video by Damon and Joe. It was actually just Joe. She made a video kind of talking about this topic, about how like you kind of have to be aware of where your background is, your financial background is, so you can know what you need to do to like be better. And I'll link that video down below too, because that was a great video and that kind of inspired me. As well as when I was coming home from Christmas break, me and my mom were listening to this book, and it's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Also, we'll link the audiobook for that, because that book, ooh, That book was amazing. I listened to all that book and then I re-listened to it so I did not forget anything. And I love that book. Right now I'm listening to The Richest Man in Babylon. That is a good next book. I'll link that down below too because I found the audiobooks for all these on YouTube for free. These are free online, so I'm gonna link them down below. And yeah, so financial literacy is very important to me right now because I don't really know too much about like credit cards, saving up, investing, 401ks, Roth IRAs. All that stuff is things I know about vaguely, but I don't know the specifics, and I know that they're important. And I'm about to go into corporate America. I have a job I'm going to be starting in the summer or fall time, and I know that there's benefits with my job for 401ks and stuff, and so I know that I really want to be like on top of it and actually understand everything that I'm getting myself into, know how to invest, know when I want to buy a house, because I know I want to buy a house, how much I need to save up for it. I just really want to be financially independent. I want to work on like having multiple streams of income and having a passive income. I'm just trying to set myself up so that I don't have to work for the rest of my life if I don't want to, and if I want to go travel or do something fun or be an entrepreneur or work from home or never have a boss again, like I have that opportunity. To do that, I have been tracking my spending with a little budget. I've been making a budget for myself. I'm putting my savings away. I'm putting like 20% of my paycheck away, which normally they say 10%, and I'm like adding another 10% onto that because I really want to like just expedite the saving process. And I don't know, I think it's working so far. Once school starts, I am looking for more streams of income that I can find, like Uber Eats, or I really want to work on a passive stream of income like a blog or an ebook or something like that. So I'm really trying to think right now and brainstorm ideas, but that is just kind of where my mind is going. This 2020, my goal is that at the end of 2020, I will be financially literate enough where all those things I didn't know about at the beginning, like those basic words, like I said, Roth IRA, 401k, credit, all those things, I will have a good understanding on how to invest and all that stuff. And like they say in Rich Dad, Poor Dad, financial literacy is something that you continuously learn, but I definitely want to just have like the basics covered by the end of the year and have a really good understanding and have implemented what I learned. Another thing, the third thing that I've been trying to do for 2020 is digitally cleanse myself. I wanted to get myself and my priorities in line for what I wanted from my digital life, you know? Because I feel like your digital life and your real life are kind of separate. You know, you only put your best self online most times, and so that's not really like a real representation of yourself. I was trying to decide what I wanted to present myself like this year, what I wanted to do. Do I want to still be in the digital world? Do I still want to be on social media, or should I delete my Instagram? And I kind of decided that I do still want to be on social media, but I think that if I'm on it, I want to be on it as like a working thing. I don't know, if I'm not doing it for something like kind of for gain for myself like that, then there's not really a point of me doing it because there is a lot of negative side effects that come with being on social media. It's a very unproductive place to be at times. I've succumbed to the TikTok rage and stuff, so now I'm really into TikTok and it's really hard for me to get off sometimes. I spend hours on there and I don't need to be doing that. So I kind of decided like if I'm going to be on there then I need to be posting. I'll link my TikTok down below and I'll put my name here, but I was like, if I'm gonna be on these social media platforms, then I need to be like creating stuff. I don't need to just be like scrolling through and being like a consumer anymore. So I think that's like one shift I want to make for 2020, as well as digitally cleaning myself by deleting all the old photos that I had on my phone and just clearing out my storage, clearing up my apps, and just making sure that what I have on my phone is like seriously stuff that I need. Besides cleaning my phone, I also cleaned my room, you know, just sorted it out. My room is like my happy place. If my room does not look clean and neat and decorated well, that is literally key. One thing that, you know, every time I look up what do CEOs do in the morning, what do successful people do, if you type that in Google, you will get some type of morning routine. For me, I call it my mindful morning because a lot of times I'll wake up and I'm just like, put on clothes, like eat my breakfast, sometimes I don't even eat my breakfast and I'm just like out the door, and I always feel groggy when I go to school. And that happened to me a lot last semester, where I would wake up and I always felt rushed and I was never happy in the morning because I felt like I didn't have any time to myself. And it was honestly my fault because I would wake up way too late and then I would just be rushing, and I was just not happy with that situation. So I knew that this year I did not want to fall back into that pattern. I wanted to have some type of morning plan that I just look at and I know what I need to do, and I do it every morning, and I know I feel good from it. So I made this morning routine. I call it my mindful morning, and what it consists of is I wake up. I did it in the order that I would plan to do it, but sometimes the end of it, like the 4 through 6, I do out of order sometimes, but it's whatever order I want. But the first 3 I basically do in that order. So the first one is I drink 16 ounces of water at wake up, so that I wake myself up and I'm hydrated and my metabolism starts churning. And then I do yoga for 10 minutes minimum. I usually look up a yoga video on YouTube and I just start, stretching, and I feel good. And I've been doing that for the last week, and my body has already started feeling a lot more stretched out and a lot more loose, so that's good. I write, usually while listening to binaural beats, which are supposed to be like beats that put your body at the same frequency as the beat. So if it's like a higher frequency, a positive frequency, it's supposed to bring your body up to that frequency and like make you feel that vibration. Don't know how scientifically accurate that is, but it makes me feel good. Placebo at the minimum, so I let it go. I do that. And so what I write about usually is my mood, how I'm feeling for the day, and then I try to write a gratitude list, 5 things that I'm grateful for every day. The 4th thing I do is I read one Medium article, or I listen to a podcast, or I read some type of book for like maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes while I eat or cook some food, because usually it takes me like 20 minutes to cook my breakfast. And during that time, I'll just like listen to something or read something so that I'm not on my phone right off the bat, that I'm just like getting stimulated by reading or by something that is thought-provoking and not just social media. Then after that, I usually want to do a home workout. If I'm cycling, I'll do that, or if I'm working out like at school that day, then I obviously would just go to school and work out later. But if I'm doing a home workout, this is the time that I would plan to do it. And lastly, I would check my email and look over my to-do for the day, or plan my to-do for the day, look through my planner, just make sure I have an idea of what exactly I want to do, so that when I go to school or I go about my day, I don't forget these things, because a lot of times I'll forget my most important things because I just don't think to look at my planner. My freshman year of college, I was real good at looking at my planner, keeping up with it. Every time I heard a date, every time I heard a phone number, every time I heard literally anything, I would write it in my planner. I always had my planner on me. And it's just, now that I'm a senior in college and my senioritis is kicking in hard, it's just been hard. It's been really hard for me to plan, and that's something that I'm gonna need to do for literally the rest of my life. Like, time management is so important, and I just kind of fell off of it, so I'm really trying to fall back into it. So hopefully this will work. Not hopefully, it definitely will. If this doesn't work, I will try everything until something does work, because I already know how important it is. That wraps up my 2020 goals of the year and how I plan on reaching those goals and everything in between. I think that this year is going to be an amazing year, full of so many successes and so many learning lessons, and I just can't wait for this year, all the great things that are going to happen. I'm very optimistic about this year, and I hope you are too, because I think that we all can achieve great things this year, and every year past this year. If you guys liked this video, I hope you guys give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to comment down below what some of your goals are for 2020, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye!